Hey everybody, Mherex here, bringing you another video. This one is going to be another episode of the world famous D.I.Cable Guy show. Um, as always now, the show is brought to you by TWO, who's been pinning the competition since 1897. We have an amazing show for you this Thanksgiving week. We're gonna talk some food. We're gonna talk some game. We're gonna talk some nonsense. And the big thing is, holiday week or not, we're here bringing you this show. Um, my guest this week is the very esteemed Dr. Key. That's right, Dr. Key. Um, this show, I've heard some rumblings that it's been a while since we've had a show, and Doc here can weigh in. But the reasoning why is actually we've had several shows. You just haven't seen it. So I had some technical difficulties on my end, and I left it to the good doctor to upload the videos for me. And he did. However, he uploaded them to a different space-time continuum. So while those are out there in the ether and viewable, you just haven't been able to see them. Unfortunately, we're not able to bring those back and post them. So if things seem off, if you feel like you're missing things, that could be why. But don't despair. Everything will be okay, and will be explained in due time. So, with that being said, I would like to welcome the good Dr. Key to the show. Welcome to the show, sir.
It's good to be here, Merricks. I'd like to start out by saying that everything that you just said was false.
Uh, what?
So I posted them to the right timeline and the right dimension. But as was mentioned in your server, there was a angle shift in this dimension. So perception is a function of light, and right, because you need light to see, so you can't have perception without light. So if you change the angle to the source of the light, it changes at the time that you would have that perception, which in most cases it's insignificant. But when you talk about changing a small angle and then comparing it to something that is extremely far away, you can end up, think of it like distance wise, right? If you change your angle of trajectory and then traveled a little bit of distance, you'd be maybe a couple of inches away, right? But if you traveled for miles in the wrong direction, even though you're only off initially by a little bit, eventually you will end up super far away from your origins. So the same thing happens in space time, but now it's not that you're far away in distance; you're far away in time perception. So they're all there, they're all where they're supposed to be. People just don't realize it yet because of that angular shift.
So, to summarize in layman's terms, essentially, they will be there. We just haven't caught up to the time that shifted. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, they're already there. You just don't perceive them yet.
So they will be in our future, even though they're already there in our past.
They're in what you perceive as your future, but it's actually the present, which is my past.
Okay, that's positively confusing. Hopefully, some of you can follow that. That's why I have the good doctor on the show to explain things like this.
Speaking of which, I don't know if we're gonna. I have a rant, and
It was
I
kind of
briefly
early.
just
It's kind of early
I
for a rant, isn't it? But I mean,
yeah. So you triggered me right now. You said a word, and that got the that got the synapses firing, and that got me where I needed to be. So we can talk about other stuff first, but
No,
I
no,
briefly
no.
mentioned.
I would love to hear you on your rant. You seem like you're ready to roll. Go right ahead, sir. Don't let me stop you.
So I brought this up, and I wanted to just weigh in on this again because it was upsetting. Um, so you mentioned positivity, uh, which of course we know the beacon of positivity is one puppy of positivity.
Right.
No, no. So the puppy is with me right now. Here he is, just laying down, having a good old time, having a little nap. So I was uh I was out in the cosmos with the puppy, and while amazing, I mean the the puppy has bodily needs, right? He's he's got to go. So I was out with the puppy, and the puppy looked up at me. He was like, "Hey, doc, I need to do my business." I said, "Do your thing, puppy." So the puppy is there doing his business. Um, as a responsible member of society, I have a little baggie there because you don't want to dirty up space time. A lot of problems come along if you dirty up space time. So I'm standing there, I'm waiting, and then I hear this this rapping, not so gentle tapping, uh, tapping on the window, and I look up, and this lady is looking at me emotionally distraught. She's making faces. She's like using her hands, like trying to shoo me away. She looked like the puppy was pooping on her.
Oof.
I've I've never seen someone this upset. So I ignored her because I don't care about her. Uh, and what am I gonna do? Am I gonna stop the puppy mid movement? No, that's I wouldn't do that to my worst enemy. So the puppy's doing his thing. I'm waiting, and then she continues banging on the window, and now she looks sad, like I've ruined her day. So then I wave my little baggie at her like a flag of surrender, saying, "Look, lady, chill out. I have a bag. It's gonna be fine." And her face lit up with joy. It was Mherex, I tell you, it's the kind of joy. It seemed like as if her estranged children finally told her that they love her again. This was this was happiness that knew no bounds
Do you
because there was now not going to be the Dookie of positivity on her yard.
do you suppose that she has been so disenfranchised with the human race that she just automatically assumed you would be one of those super annoying dog people that just take their dog for walks and allow them to drop dog mines wherever they go? And she went from like literally she was in the jaws of defeat to ultimate victory when you decided to be a responsible human being. I mean, do you think she was a terrible person for assuming you would be that kind of dog owner, or do you just think like she had been landmined or dog mined so many times previously that it was an appropriate response?
I feel like nothing that could have ever happened to this woman in her life would have made that inappropriate response.
I mean,
Like,
do you own a home, Dr. Key?
yeah.
Ha-
And
have you ever had someone walk their dog and leave a big old pile in your yard?
yeah,
Have you ever stepped in that pile unknowingly?
I'm sure I have. I've stepped in. In fact, I think I mentioned that to you. I mentioned how great this soul cleaner thing that I had was. We can talk about that also. It's actually not bad. Good segue.
Um, because I don't have dogs, And when people let their dogs dump in my yard, I find it very, very irritating. I mean,
Sure.
would
But
I?
to the point to where you would um you would try to stop the puppy mid movement and shoo them off your yard.
Probably not. I don't like human beings, so I wouldn't want to interact with you.
Right. It's something that, sure, it's annoying, but it's not the end of the world. Like, of all the things in life to get upset about, an animal using the bathroom should not rank highly on list of things that are going to ruin your day.
Now, people ruin my day way more than animals, for sure.
So,
Um,
saying is, there's a lot, and it goes back to the whole thing. Like, people lose their minds about a lot of stuff,
they
and
really do.
it's it's a dumb way to live your life.
It's a new day. Yes, it is.
Sure. But anyways, that was my thing. Like just I can't imagine how this woman can function when she can go through that range of emotions that quickly over something as consequential as a bowel movement.
I mean, that's true. Could I
I
take?
I
Go.
almost I almost pooped on her lawn for spite,
Now that would have been amazing.
but I did not
I mean,
because
you're a trained adult,
I'm not a crazy person.
right?
I do have a story that's somewhat related. If you'd like to hear, I have another. Up to
Uh,
you, sir.
can we ever have enough poop stories?
I mean, it's generally not a topic that I enjoy, but I feel that it's a good story and it's relevant. So,
I mean, who would I be to keep a good poop story from our listeners?
so here we go. So there used to be
Oh, can I
a
stop you real quick?
sure.
Uh, I gotta grab something from the fridge. Will you tell this story? It's gonna take me like 10 seconds. So, I'm not playing Silence Chicken, but it's kind of important for this show, because this is our Thanksgiving extravaganza show. You know, possibly our worst show all year. I wanted to have something to celebrate, so I'm gonna grab that real quick. You taking a drink there reminded me of that. So I'm sorry to
No,
interrupt you, good sir. Carry on.
no,
I will be
no
back
problem.
momentarily.
All right. So let's take bets. What do we think he's going to get? The fact that me drinking something reminded him of it, so he's probably going to the fridge. A lot of you people would probably be like, "Oh, it's a big red," but no, that's not how this man rolls. Um, Given that he is in a celebratory mood, you may think, "Oh, maybe a adult beverage," but no, this is also not how this man rolls. I'm gonna go with either a Liberty Dew or maybe some a root beer or maybe some weird had special order soda that he just got and he's very excited about. So that's where my money is right now. So get your get your ballots in. As soon as he comes back, the voting will close. Put
What
in the
did you do?
comments.
What did you do while I was gone?
So everyone, make sure to get your comments in there to see what it is. So Merricks, will you reveal what it is that you went to go get or not yet?
Yes, I will. Actually,
Uh-huh.
so there is a little market near my house called La Michoacana. You may have heard me refer to it before. Every Saturday they have fresh tamales, so I like to go there on Saturdays and get said fresh tamales because tamales are amazing. No
Is
one,
this the is this the store you sometimes accidentally refer to as Sin Cara?
yes.
Okay, go ahead.
Occasionally I get it right and call it Callisto. Other times I refer to it as the Sin Cara store, and it's terrible. So
Proceed.
I was there perusing their fine goods one day, and I noticed a blue bottle, a soda bottle, actually, with a familiar splash on the logo. And I was
Yep.
confused because of the name. It's called Big Blue.
I've told you about Big Blue. I've mentioned Big Blue several times.
So I bought it for when we did this Thanksgiving extravaganza because I am thankful for you as a co host, you as an online friend, and you for introducing me to soda flavors I wasn't heretofore familiar with. So I purchased this drink, which is called Big Blue, and I'm about to, live on this show, have my first ever sip of what is known as Big Blue.
This is very exciting.
I thought it would be. I thought the listeners would want to know. So I've opened it. It is in my
Yeah.
hands. And now I'm about to take my first sip of this new beverage. This is exciting. It's not very often that I try a new drink. You know what I mean? It doesn't happen often.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
thought you'd all want to be a part of it. So here we
Yeah.
go. You ready?
Yeah. I've given my thoughts on Big Blue, but you probably don't remember them, so I will refrain so as not to lead the witness.
Oh, wow. This is I actually like this more than the red version. This is delicious.
So
Mm.
I actually would have assumed that that's what you would have thought.
Hmm.
Um, personally, it's too sweet for my tastes.
What are you trying to say, doctor?
I'm just trying to say you have what we refer to in the industry as a savage palate. So yeah, I
Oh, don't you dare be sour.
stop that.
Why? I thought puppy of positive. Okay, you're right. That
Yeah,
was. I'm
no,
sorry.
he's fine. He's
I'm sorry.
fine. We're good. But yeah, so Big Blue is um is sweeter, whereas Big Red is a cream based soda. Big Red is more of a almost like liquid candy. Would you say that's appropriate?
Yeah, the big red tastes kind of like if you were to liquefy and candify gum, like bubble gum, kind of.
Yeah, some people do think it has a bubblegum flavor to it.
Not super
I don't.
not super strong bubblegum, like a slight hint of bubblegum, like it was steeped, like a tea in bubblegum, if you will.
Mm, interesting. Yeah. I mean, I've heard that before. I personally don't feel that way just because I don't like bubblegum flavor.
Okay.
Uh, but yeah, some people, I think red is the best way to describe the flavor.
I was expecting this to be like a raspberry flavor, like a lot of blue things were.
Yeah.
But really, it tastes very similar to like a cream soda, like vanilla cream soda, to me.
So yeah, just for me personally, I don't like things that are over the top when it comes to sweets. So just it's something that's a little bit too sweet for me. It's good in small amounts, but it's not something that I would have often.
So I want to hit you with something real quick. As long as we're on this sweet and this food thing here, hit
Yeah.
me with your favorite Thanksgiving dish and your favorite Thanksgiving dessert.
Um, I mean, when you say dish, do you mean like what of the traditional
No,
giving accoutrements?
it doesn't have to be traditional. It could be traditional to your family. I'll get into a tradition that we have that's very abnormal from Thanksgiving too. So it literally can be something you have most Thanksgivings that's your favorite thing. It doesn't have to be a traditional.
Um, I'm going to say something that probably I enjoy the most from Thanksgiving is probably the cornbread stuffing
Cornbread stuffing.
because it's the only time that I ever have it.
What is I'm assuming cornbread stuffing is taking stuffing and taking cornbread and mixing them together.
I guess I don't know. It's it's the it's like the carb, right? It's stuffing, yeah, like it's what goes, I guess, in the turkey. I don't know. I don't cook. So, because, typically a traditional Thanksgiving meal, I guess, you would have, your turkey, your ham, um, maybe some type of a casserole or something, some green beans, some type of a vegetable. But also pretty traditional is cornbread stuffing, right? Which, assuming, like you said, is just normal stuffing. Which I don't think I've ever had non-cornbread stuffing, so I don't even know what that would be.
See, I've had
I've had
regular.
cornbread by itself.
I've never had cornbread stuffing, but I've had regular stuffing.
You've had cornbread though, right?
Yes, of course.
Yeah. But yeah, so cornbread stuffing is not something that I ever have outside of Thanksgiving. But I find it to be delicious, so it becomes this yearly treat. And yeah, I usually there's like a cranberry sauce. I just put the cranberry on the cornbread stuffing, mix it all up, delicious.
Hmm.
So that's because the other stuff, I mean, ham, whatever. You can have ham whenever you have turkey
Sure,
whenever.
sure.
Um, so cornbread stuffing, that's what I would say.
I like it. And dessert?
Desserts kind of run. I mean, I think most of the time I like having some yams. I enjoy a good sweet potato. Is there a difference between yams and sweet potato? Is that a
I think there is a slight difference. I think they're very similar, but I do believe there is a slight difference. I will look
no?
that up while you continue to talk.
Yeah. Um, Pumpkin pie, obviously, those are very good. So yeah, I think stuff like that. Keep it pretty standard. We don't nothing crazy. There's no like key lime pie or anything like that. I don't do anything crazy like a Thanksgiving lasagna or something.
That's
So
hurtful.
why?
So every other year, we, instead of doing your traditional Thanksgiving meal, do a Thanksgiving lasagna.
Uh, we in the business we call that a segue.
Right, I got you. Right on. So, before I get into that, which that was a smooth segue, I pulled up what is the difference between a sweet potato and a yam. What's in a name? When it comes to the yam, a bit of confusion. The truth is, what you've been calling a yam is most likely a sweet potato. Even more, it's possible that you've never even tasted a yam. The sweet, orange-colored root vegetable that you love so dearly is actually a sweet potato. Yes, all so-called yams are in fact sweet potatoes. Most people think that long, red-skinned sweet potatoes are yams, but they really are just one of many varieties of sweet potatoes. So where did all this confusion come from? Let's break down the main differences between yams and sweet potatoes. So yeah, it's got a picture here, which I'll pull up for the viewers, listeners, but also the viewers. So a yam is a dry, starchy flesh, dark bark-like skin, and a sweet potato is a moist flesh variation in color, slick-like appearance in the skin. So one is kind of a barky skin, if that's a word, and the other one seems to be a slick skin. And I'm assuming it's going to get into the taste next. Let me save this image that I cropped here. Okay, so yam versus sweet potato. A true yam is a starchy, edible root of the, I'm going to butcher this word, Diocerea genus, and is generally imported to America from the Caribbean. It is rough and scaly and very low in beta carotene. Depending on the variety, sweet potato flesh can vary from white to orange and even purple. The orange-fleshed variety was introduced to the United States several decades ago. In order to distinguish it from the white variety, everyone was accustomed to producers and shippers chose the English form of the African word nyami and labeled them yams. Today, the U.S. Department of Agriculture requires labels with the term yam to be accompanied by the term sweet potato. Despite the label regulations, most people still think of sweet potatoes as yams regardless of their true identity. Let me throw that graphic up so you guys can kind of see the difference. It looks like mostly the difference is in the skin, and it sounds like the yam is a little more hearty, I suppose, and the sweet potato is a little more sweet, I guess. I don't know. So there's
Interesting.
that graphic right there for you guys if you want to pull that up. Yam looks more like a traditional brown skinned potato. It does look kind of barky. The skin looks almost like tree bark. And the other one, the orange sweet potato looks kind of like a lumpy carrot, a giant lumpy carrot.
So there you go. You've all been living a lie.
Yeah. What you're calling yams have never been yams. Okay. So that's interesting. I do want to bring up one more thing real quick before I get to my awkward, weird, traditional things. So I pulled this up too. Also called space-time continuum. The four-dimensional continuum having three spatial coordinates and one temporal coordinate in which all physical quantities may be located. The second definition, the physical reality that exists within this four-dimensional continuum. So basically, what you're saying is you were adjusting some of the coordinates, or maybe not you, but some of those coordinates were adjusted, and that caused the shift in the time. Is that kind of what you were saying?
No, so the time remains. It's just your perception of the time.
Okay. What caused my
So let me
perception to shift?
let me let me dumb it down for you.
You're gonna have to.
So imagine that you don't know anything until a light switch is turned on.
Okay. You're in the
Okay.
dark, so to speak.
Yes. So then when you turn the light switch on, suddenly you know what's going on,
Right.
right? So let's say you were very close to the light and you have someone else that's very far away from the light.
Right.
When the light switch goes on, the person closer to the light is going to see the light before the person farther away.
Yes, that may not be
Okay.
noticeable depending on how far away you were, though, correct?
Correct.
It still would be noticed sooner, but how noticeable it is would depend on the distance.
Yes. And that's where it goes, where when you have a shift in angle, depending on how far away the source is, if the source is really far away, well, suddenly that can cause very big differences. And that's where I gave the example
Right.
of how far, like if you were trying to go to a certain location and your trajectory was off, like if the end location was 2 feet away, well then yeah, you're not going to be that far off. But if your end location was 200 miles away, you're going to be in a completely different place.
Right. For example, if you were trying to go in a straight line, but you were off by 1 degree, at like 10 steps, it wouldn't even probably be noticeable, but at 10 million, it would be highly noticeable.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. Another way, maybe this might be an easier way for you to understand. Um, picture a picture a light source. Let's say just in your room. I'm assuming you have a light at the top, the middle of the room.
Bold of you to assume I have a light in my room, but yes, I do.
Okay. So now imagine there is a seesaw, like directly under the light, to where the center of it is directly under it.
That would be the fulcrum.
Yes.
Okay.
So now, if that's leveled, everyone is going to, assuming there's an equal distance to that, everyone is going to experience that light at the same time. Yes.
Yes.
So now let's say now there was a shift in the seesaw. So now the person on the side that's up is much closer, and then the person on the side that's down is further away. Yes.
Yes.
So then what the person at the top of the seesaw, they're going to perceive things first, and what is their present is the future of the person that's further away. just because they haven't perceived it yet. And then what is the past of the person that's closer becomes the present of the person that's further away.
I gotcha.
So
So really what you're saying is perception to us really is reality, even if in reality it's not reality, but it is to us.
yeah, everything in life is perception.
All
Like
right.
there is no what everyone considers to be their absolute truth is just what their mind can comprehend.
That's pretty deep.
Yeah.
But that's what we do here on this show. We
Yeah.
bring you a Thanksgiving extravaganza, and we talk to you about yams and fulcrums and space-time continuums and perceived reality versus reality.
Yeah. Let the record show I had a poop story.
I thought you were going to tell that while I was gone.
No, what we did was I played a game where we were trying to guess what you were going to go get.
Hmm.
And my what I said what I was going to put my money on was that you found a new strange soda that you were not familiar with, and it was very exciting to you, and that you were going to try to taste it.
I don't like that you spoiled that.
I mean, it's not a spoiler
It's a
to the perception of
prediction.
the fan. No, so as far as the listeners are concerned, they don't know that their present is my past. So they perceive that as me just guessing, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. So
But in
so
reality, you're Paul
so
Heyman,
essentially
and you know what's going to happen.
yeah, like I am all time simultaneously.
Fair enough.
But yeah,
Okay,
new strange soda. Nailed it.
you did. Uh, my favorite Thanksgiving dessert would be it's essentially like a pistachio. It's a pistachio dessert. There's like this crumble breading with pistachio pudding on top of it, and like a cream cheese, whipped cream kind of frosting top thingy. Absolutely
Mm.
delicious. That would be my favorite dessert that gets made. I do not. I do also enjoy the traditional pumpkin pie at Thanksgiving time. And then if I was gonna pick one particular thing, it's pretty generic. But I do love ham generally. The next day, especially when I want to make like a ham sandwich, which is dumb. But otherwise, I kind of enjoy all of the parts more than any one individual making the whole. Like I really like stuffing. I like mashed potatoes. I like gravy. I like ham. I like turkey. But if I kind of combine them all into one, it's really delicious. And for me, I like the fact that I generally am not a big leftover fan, but Thanksgiving leftovers is something that I actually do enjoy. So
So you mentioned combining. Um, I am also. I don't remember. I feel like we've talked about this before, but maybe we haven't. Um, when it comes to food, I also like combinations because I mean that's the whole point of flavor. You know, it's certain
mm-hmm.
things accentuate other things. You got part of this goes with part of that, and together it's coming up with something good. There is a percentage of people, which this may also spark a debate in in the server. There's a percentage of the population which wants all of their food constantly segregated. So like
That's true.
if there's, let's say you're going to have turkey, ham, and stuffing. The turkey's over here, the ham's over here, the stuffing's over here. They would eat one thing and then not move until the next thing until the one thing is done.
Mm-hmm.
They wouldn't cross contaminate the flavors, they wouldn't mix it. Whereas I would take, you know, I would cut up a piece of meat, grab some stuffing, throw it on top, and then shove it both in my mouth.
So very
So,
very interesting point. Generally, I am a segregator with my food. Generally.
Yeah.
However, at times like Thanksgiving, like I like having some mashed potato with some stuffing with some turkey or ham in one bite, combining
Yeah.
it together.
Yeah.
Um, we went to a fancy smancy restaurant and I got something that I wouldn't normally order. It was like a duck confit. I'm probably not even pronouncing that right. Kind of fancy French dish, and I didn't expect to really like it. They had this cranberry sauce with the duck, and the waiters, mentioned like, you kind of want to try and mix this with this and combine it when you taste it. And I was thinking, this is going to be gross. This isn't my normal kind of
Uh-huh.
thing. But I did what was suggested. And I do have to say, I was kind of blown away by the flavors playing off of each other. So I think, well, normally, like I said, I do like to keep things apart. I think if you always do that, you can miss out on some amazing flavors.
Yeah. So, anyways, I'm glad that at least once in a year you eat correctly.
Well, it's not like I was eating pineapple pizza.
Let's move on.
Okay.
Is there anything else that you're going to discuss?
No,
I
did you
feel
did you want to get back to your poop story?
um I think maybe we could leave that for another day. Maybe let's limit one poop tail per episode.
Poop tail.
Ooh.
I think that could be a popular show some places, but that's neither here nor there.
No. I'm sure there's sites on the internet where it's already a popular show.
Indeed. No, I think being that this is a Thanksgiving holiday extravaganza, we should try and be thankful. So I, for one, am thankful that we are sponsored by TWO. So I just want to say, I hope TWO has the best of holidays and they make more money than ever before. Um,
I mean, it would be hard for them to make less.
That's fair. So, TWO,
Yeah.
very thankful for them. Go ahead.
I am thankful for the 3 people that actually listen and occasionally watch the show. I am thankful for them, and actually, I would like to bring up a very special mailbag segment.
Ooh.
This week's mailbag is brought to you by Jim's Bait and Tackle Shop on the corner of 3rd. Tell him Ray sent you. Ha, I got it in.
We talked about this.
So, we have our cosmonaut listener, Viking, and his 51 descendants. He had a question, and given that he's one of the 3 people that actually listens to the show, I thought it would be good to discuss that.
Wait. I feel the need to correct you, Richard. You're kind of wrong. We have to call out. We have to call out Southside Envy. We cannot talk about listeners without mentioning Southside Envy's name.
Yeah. So let it be. If you rewind the footage, you will see that I did not say Viking was our only listener.
You said one of 3.
I said I was thankful for the 3. It's artistic. I'm taking artistic license there.
Okay, so we got Viking is 1. We have Southside Envy, who is the OG. We have Hansen, who, even though he has been threatened with removal, still continues to listen. So that's 3 right
Does
there.
he?
Yeah, he does.
Does he?
Yeah, he was actually asking when the next one was going to be. So, so that's 3. We have payroll. That's 4. I think.
Which I feel like payroll would have a legitimate beef with you calling someone else the OG.
He might, but I feel like Southside has been watching them from the beginning too. Can we get some clarification on this? I know Payroll has been watching since the first one, and when it came out. Southside, have you also? Because if so, I need to change that from OG1 to OG2. So clarification would be good.
I feel like clarification isn't necessary because Southside is way more likable.
Shots fired. Shots fired.
I mean, I'm just saying. If we're gonna be giving out
Titles.
make believe titles that don't mean anything, why not give it to the likable one?
Okay, so that's 4. Moving on. Matt Saber.
Yeah.
That's 5. I think he's related to Jack Saber Jr., right? Matt Saber.
I mean, it's weird that you would bring up the TWO star Jack Saber Jr.
Yep.
Because he's actually related to the legitimate star Zack Saber Jr.
Yeah, but Jack is better than Zach.
No, that's false.
Fine. So that's 5 that I can think of right off the top of my head. So
No.
I want to say you saying 3 is just totally inaccurate.
Sure. If that'll help us move on, Mherex, you're right.
I'm sorry, what did you say? I couldn't hear you.
I said let's move on.
Okay, all right.
I don't even remember what we were talking about.
We're talking about the Cosmonauts roster.
Ah, yes, we were talking about one of the few people that listen. Anyways, so he has a question. He wants to know what he should do with his powerhouses. So one of the people that he kind of has been thinking about is Kevin Nash. So I believe that's who he has highest currently. Let me see here. I have screenshots. I don't know if it might be easier if I just read his original question so that we don't have to read out who he has and all that.
You could read his original question. I'm sure
Yeah.
it's up to you. The show is your oyster. All right, Kyle. You do what you want.
Yeah. So the original question was, is Nash worth it to take to 5-star bronze? All right. So that's where the bidding started.
And when you say Nash, you mean Powerhouse Nash.
Powerhouse.
You mean Big Sexy.
Sure. The red one.
I mean, I don't know if he's red. Is he red?
Are you referring to communist ties?
I don't think we should get into that.
Yeah. Of course, you would say we shouldn't get into that.
I would. I have sponsors I need to appease, and I don't know where their leanings are, whether it's communist, socialist, whatever,
Yeah. No one believes that. Not for one instant. But yes, Powerhouse Nash. The question originally was, is he worth taking to 5-star bronze? But I think we should probably pump our brakes here for a second. Because right now, Nash, he currently has him at 4-star silver.
Mm-hmm.
All right. He's got a couple of other people, which maybe not necessarily better, potentially could be better. But when making decisions like this, you have to take other things into account.
Yeah, we take here on the D.I.Cable Guy show. We like to take a holistic approach to roster advice. We don't just say A is better than B. We wanna look at the totality of your roster before we decide.
Yeah, because A may be better than B for one person, but not for another person.
That's a perception and reality thing again, isn't it?
Yeah. So, he's got a couple of people also already at 4-star. So he's got Shelton Benjamin, he's got Bulldog, Sheik, Brock, and then he's got a couple of people not at 4-star, but that you would typically, you see people level them. So people like Warrior, Kane, Undertaker, Goldberg. Yeah, those are, I would say, probably the major guys that you typically see people bring up. Oh, he also has someone that you don't really see, but probably not that bad. Also, Powerhouse Big Show.
Yes.
But so I guess the question right now is, one, is he worth taking the 5-star? If we stop there, the answer is sure. Why not? I mean, there's he's for sure not bad. So if someone said, "Hey, I want to take this guy to 5-star," I mean, no one's going to say no. That's a terrible move. You shouldn't do it.
Right. It's not like he's saying he's going to take, Triple H the game to 5-star.
Yeah. Who I think that could be kind of interesting.
That's why I said it.
He has some countdown gems that make a lot of stuff, I believe. But anyways,
Something. He does things.
yeah. I'm not going to bring up the other guy that gets surprisingly good at 4-star because
Goldberg?
it upsets. No, he's not a powerhouse. He's a trickster, and it upsets you. So I'll probably bring it up later in the episode.
You're a jerk.
Yeah, that's fine. So then the question is, okay, well, if he's fine to do it, then why do we even keep going? Because maybe that's not what he should be focusing on right now. Maybe he's got some other things on his plate that we feel should get more attention first.
Like mashed potatoes and gravy.
Yeah. Especially in the powerhouse realm.
Sure.
So talking with him, I asked him, who are the people that you use, and where do you have your MP trainers and your gem generation trainers? So I would say MP trainers and gem generation guys are probably going to be the most important trainers that you're going to want to get to 5K. A lot of people use them, and obviously in terms of the order that you would prioritize them, it's going to be dependent on who are the people that you use most often, right?
I mean, it makes sense to me.
Makes sense, right? If you got a guy that is a really good trainer, but you don't have anyone that uses him, then yeah, you're eventually going to need him, but shouldn't be a priority.
No, not as big a deal. Not a rush.
Yeah. So one person that I know in the past you've mentioned as being very interesting, especially for newer players as a potential long-term project, is Shelton Benjamin.
Yes.
So I'd like you to discuss Shelton Benjamin versus Kevin Nash. How would you feel with that in terms of, let's say he wanted to keep going with one. How do you feel about those two?
So I think that depends on if you have the right trainers, and in Shelton's case, how far are you planning on taking said trainers? So a few things with Shelton. You get Akim to 9K. He gets an extra red for the choose move. Okay, so You're looking at a 9K investment on Akim. And the other big one is Big John Stud, who at 9K, you generate an extra yellow. You start with one extra yellow MP. So on top of generating 4 reds, you're getting that extra yellow. So in Shelton's case, with the +2 MP feud perk, that means his random generate red, which gets +1 from Akim and +4 from Big John Stud, is ready turn 1 in feud.
Yep.
So Shelton becomes really, really good then. Plus, you take into the account that he turns yellows into blasts with his red move, and then the other red move destroys those blasts. He's doing pretty big damage as a powerhouse, and he's recycling insanely well. And now you have a free character in Ray who adds an extra blast gem at 9K and also increases blast gem damage. And you have a free character in Typhoon who does extra red gem damage. Also, you have a free coach in Killian Dane who is a free character who reduces multiplied gems. Powerhouse has a class advantage over Acros, and then you add Dane in the coach slot, and now all of a sudden, even if they do get to go, their multiply gems suck. So when you're talking about feud, I like taking guys in as matchups. So if I go against an Acro, I want to take a powerhouse. And if I'm taking that powerhouse against an Acro, I also want the multiply gem coach on him. So it's a big investment, but at that point, Shelton is pretty ridiculous, and he's free. And if you have those other characters, he may not have Akim yet, but he might get him shortly. If he doesn't, depending on where he's at shard wise, because he's in the daily thingamajiggy.
You're getting ahead of me.
Okay.
So Nash,
Right.
I believe Nash does not go turn 1, correct?
That is accurate. I don't believe he does either. Let me.
Yeah.
kinda
Once you get him set up, I think he can start blowing up the board over and over again. But
Yes.
it's gonna take a move or two.
Correct.
Which doesn't mean he's bad. It's just, especially for feud, we highly value these turn 1 guys.
Right. He's got a choose to place column gems that's an 8 MP green. So not ready turn 1. But is a good move. I believe you run him green, black, black. The other black is a choose 5 gems to destroy. So you're choosing where to place your columns, and then you're choosing what you want to destroy. So once you get rolling with Nash, he can do a lot of damage as well.
So based on that, it seems like very easy. Oh, well, maybe Shelton, because Nash is 4-star silver, but Shelton's already 4-star bronze. So it's not like he's super far behind. It wouldn't be that
Correct.
big
They're
of a
very
shift.
close. Yeah, very close. And they both
But
have one hollow star as well.
yeah, but here's where we got to know more information. I can tell you that he doesn't have Akim,
Okay.
and that his Big John stud is at like 2 stars or something like that.
2-star gold. Yeah, I have it up on the screen.
Okay. So now, based on that, suddenly that takes a lot of the shine off of Benjamin short term.
Correct.
Now, that doesn't mean that everything you just said isn't still applicable, but he's going to need to get those guys realistically to 9K
Right.
to get Shelton to be what he needs to be.
It's a lot more resources before he's ready to go. And the fact that his highest powerhouse is 4-star silver, probably not going to be able to make that investment.
No. Now, one thing though that I will say is that he probably needs to start making that investment anyways.
He does, yeah.
Because it's not just Shelton that can make use of those people. Especially, we always talk about, a couple minutes ago, we said MP coaches and gem generation guys. These are going to be people that you need to focus on. So in terms of gem generation, he mentioned that a guy that he's using a lot is Striker Brett. And we see that Titus is also not yet at 5K.
I would definitely pump Titus up fast if you're using NWO Brett often. It's gonna, I mean, he's at +2 at 2-star gold, so you're gonna essentially double his effectiveness at 5K for a pretty low investment comparatively.
Yeah, so I think that's something that maybe newer players may make that mistake where they wanna focus all their resources into their very best person, which that makes some sense, but especially once you get to 4-star, when you open up the amount of trainers that you can use and things like that, you really want to make sure that you have your trainers to the point where you're going to really be getting the most out of your people. So for most, that's going to be 5K. For some, 9K, and then there's a very small percentage where even further than that. So given that the people that he uses most often, I would say in the powerhouse class, he should probably focus on Titus first.
Yeah.
He doesn't really have. He didn't mention anyone that's currently using Stud. But let me ask you this: once he has, let's say, he has Stud and Enzo, leveled up and ready to go. How do you feel about Goldberg versus Nash versus Benjamin?
So Goldberg, if you have the gear, um, I think it's pretty hard. He's choosing so many reds. And then again, the Ray factor, because he's making 3 random blasts. You toss Ray on there, all of a sudden it's 4. And, everyone's getting Ray this month. So I think and the gear is in the commons in the new loot. So it's very obtainable. It might take a while, but it's obtainable.
Doesn't Typhoon also do extra red damage as a
Yep,
trainer?
exactly. Um, so I think if everything was equal in a vacuum, I think Goldberg would probably, make the most sense. Everything being equal,
No.
Shelton will recycle, I think, better than Goldberg, but not hit quite as much top end. And I think in a vacuum, I would prefer Shelton over Nash. I think. But that's mostly on my playstyle, and I've seen some really nasty Sheltons. The other thing to consider is era. I believe Shelton's modern, and Nash is in the Attitude era, which is very heavy. Goldberg is Ruthless Aggression, so not as many of those. Um, so yeah, also potential shout out for Phenom, who can steal purple and is pretty solid later on. He gets better as he goes. So those 4 are kind of the 4 in there, but based on a lot of what you're saying, you could maybe make a case for Brock in there too, especially with Ray and stuff being a turn slower, but also getting some crazy big boom once you start adding those coaches, the Rays, Typhoons, things like that. But I think
Yeah, and the thing with Brock is that so you're gonna get the big, board explosion similar to Nash, um, but you're also gonna be able to supplement that with a submission to keep the opponent in check while you're doing that.
yeah, and he's an even rarer, isn't he? Like PG or reality?
I think so. I think it might be PG. I'm not sure.
Yeah, and that's even harder to come by as far as eras. Thankfully, they're not required often, but when they are, it's nice to have. So those are kind of the guys. I mean, Nash seems to make sense right now, though. But those all definitely bear thinking about long term for him. But yeah, I think for sure he should get Titus to 5K first.
Yeah. So I would say, especially if he had, those people at higher level, then suddenly those other people become more intriguing. But because he doesn't have them yet, it seems like that is his best option.
Yes.
But I feel that he shouldn't be making that decision based on his maybe limited trainers at the time. I think instead he should focus on his trainers because those are going to help multiple people.
Right.
And yeah, kind of maybe
L- looking
come
at it.
back, reconsider,
Yep.
look at
Looking
it a little bit later.
looking at his roster, really, he's probably not having any trouble with dailies. He has, as far as Attitude Era, he's got NWO Heart, right? He's Attitude. So he has Attitude covered. Will taking Nash up right now benefit him hugely? Probably not. I get wanting to have a guy in each class, but I think if it was me looking at it that way, I'd want to start getting my trainers rounded out, getting them built up, strengthening my higher level guys I have already, and then see what happens the next while I'm doing that. If anything changes in what I'm feeling like building. But that being said, I still have no issues with him taking Nash up.
Yeah. Because I mean, in the time it takes him to start, bringing up in trainers and things like that, we may end up getting another good freebie
Yep.
somewhere, or he might pull someone, you know.
Maybe he
It,
pulls Kane's gear, for example.
yeah, or Goldberg's gear.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think for now, focus on your trainers. So we mentioned Titus at 5K. So it doesn't take a lot. You can get people to 5K really quickly, actually, nowadays. Lawler needs to be, I think he mentioned he doesn't have Akim, and the only guy that isn't at 5K yet for his MP trainers is Lawler. So he needs to get him there also. So yeah, focus on your trainers. Then reconvene.
Yes, indeed. Agreed.
Yep. All right. So we want to move on to what the people really came here for.
Yeah, we're an hour in, so I think we should get to it.
Yeah. This is the main event.
Yes, to the main event. We're pretty much hitting our time mark spot on for the sponsors. Starting this right at 1 hour in, so that's good.
Well,
okay, everybody, what you've been waiting for, why you tuned in. We know it's not for us. Previously on Cream of the Crop.
good job, Mherex.
Thank you. 32 superstars enter, and 1 rises to the top. We have almost finished the initial assessment of each class. The landscape of the game has changed a lot while we've been doing this. So write-ins could potentially be interesting, but that is not part of this show at this time. I'll kind of recap. Let's start with the techs. We have Kofi, Doink, Champa, Sting, and Sako. Powerhouses, we have Earthquake, Hogan, Kane, Zombie Austin, Keith Lee. Acrobats, we have Master of the Universe Triple H, Ricochet, Andrade, Stinger, and Bailey. Also, some of the things that when we did Acrobats that we excluded was Ray being insanely rare and also his gear being hard to get. That obviously has changed in the time since we did that. We have Strikers. We have Shamrock, NWO Ted, Mr. T, Zombie Page, and HBK. When we did Strikers, Zombie Triple H wasn't on anyone's roster yet, so that's something that's changed. Showboats, we have Fiend, Dango, Zombie Kane, Godfather, and NWO Big Show. So that leaves 1 class left. That would leave the Trickster class, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I mean, unless we want to do a whole segment dedicated to X-Pac.
I don't know why you would say that, other than to irritate me.
Hey, that's not even the thing that I was going to bring up, but go ahead.
You suck.
It's Tricksters. The answer is Tricksters.
Right. We're going to do Tricksters. Cream of the crop.
Foreshadowing.
Indeed. So, on to Tricksters. I'm going to pull up my roster here and flip it over to Tricksters. If I can hit the right button, which is the roster button. And it's sorted by class. So let's go to the Tricksters. So,
while you're doing that, random little thing that I use to remember. So for a while, I had trouble remembering whether Nikki or Bree, which one was a powerhouse and which one
Bree's the powerhouse.
Right. So I had, for a long time, I had trouble remembering which is which. And then I just made a little statement in my mind and I said, oh, Nikki is tricky.
Tricky Nikki?
Yeah. And now it's easy to remember.
I kind of like that association there. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah. Feel like she broke John Cena's heart.
Poor John.
Yep. He really is. He's a national treasure.
Can't even see him.
Yeah. There's rumors and allegations that there may be an even harder to see John Cena on the horizon.
I think that's probably fairly accurate, considering when you look at the Victory Tour tile in the game. And on the far right, it's what appears to be a you can't see something. I think it says you can't see me camoed shirt, and what appears to be a saluting John Cena. So I think that you are correct. That does appear like he is going to be in the game, probably.
However, there's no way of knowing because we can't see him.
Correct. He could be there right now, and we don't even know it.
Yeah. Based on our perception.
Right.
Yeah. Anyways, so yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Interesting to see. I will be eagerly waiting for the Mherex preview video on that. Available on YouTube.com.
Thank you for the plug, sir.
Yeah.
Remember to like, subscribe, and share. Hey everyone, Mherex here with another video.
Available wherever fine YouTube videos are sold.
Right.
Moving forward, cream of
Yes,
the crop.
cream of the crop.
Tricky Nikki.
Tricky
Tricky
Nikki.
Nikki.
I don't think she's gonna
I'm
make the
not
cut.
putting her in. Yeah, she's not in. I'm sorry.
Okay.
If you break John Cena's heart, you don't go on my list.
I agree. Anyone that could be mean to John Cena. I mean, how many wishes has the man done? A lot.
He's like a genie.
He really is.
That would be an interesting. I wouldn't mind that outfit.
They really should do a Make-A-Wish John Cena.
Well, I meant like a genie, like have him be in like the parachute pants.
Well, how about like Nikki as a genie?
No.
Like I Dream of Genie outfit.
No.
No? Okay.
No.
You mean like Robin Williams genie from Aladdin?
Yes. Exactly. No, they should do it. They should do that as an alternate outfit for Striker Cena because he's already blue.
Ha! I love it.
Mherex, talk to your people. Let's get this. Let's
right.
get a.
We're supposed
to. Let's get a Disney crossover event going.
I will see what I can do. Disney crossover event.
I mean, come on, dude. There's so much money there.
Right? Who could be the Lion King? Chris Jarrett. Oh wait, no, never mind. That
this is. I feel like this needs to be a separate episode.
Yeah, it does. We could go off on a crossover tangent. I want Transformers. I want Ninja Turtles.
No.
Okay, Tricksters. Let's focus. Let's bring this home. Let's bring this home. Who would you like to nominate first in Tricksters, sir?
So I'm gonna make what I feel is a pretty easy nomination, but somehow I feel like he's underrated, if that's possible. But let's just keep things super easy. Let's start with Hollywood Hogan.
I have no disagreements, actually.
So I think a lot of people, I feel like he's almost better known for his trainer ability than as an actual wrestler.
Yeah.
And I think that's because people sleep on these moves that make the wildcard gems.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the people only sleep on them because they haven't had their day ruined by that move yet.
Yes, or they haven't ruined someone's day with them. Sadly, I fall into the category that hasn't ruined someone's day, but I have had my day ruined.
Yeah. I believe he also has a move that doesn't move the pin bar.
Yeah, I think it's a choose purple, which is primary color, and that gets him into the finisher. So choose purple doesn't move pin bar. It's got a black move that destroys a column. Hollywood Hogan, really great card. Would love to have him for both coach and character.
You heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen. Hulk Hogan, pretty good.
Yes. Nobody knew. It's a secret. We're lifting the lid, showing you the inner workings, the inner machinations of the game. Hollywood Hogan.
We're shattering glass ceilings. We're blowing the roof off the doors.
It's hard hitting analysis like this. Why you watch Cream of the Crop?
No. So Hogan, no objections.
No, he's going in. He's Hogan.
Proceed.
Yep, he's going in. I think I'm gonna do something very similar to you, and I'm gonna take a really easy pick for me. I recently just finally obtained him, and I'm gonna go with nominating Macho Man.
Yes, Randall Mario Poffo.
Any issues with me just writing Macho Trickster in, since it is, after all, his invitation?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like he needs no invitation.
Okay, he's going straight in. Do we even need to discuss why, other than Macho?
I mean, you can if you want. I don't have him.
I mean, he's got like he's got a 2 MP move that breaks a 2x2 area, and it's blue, so you can just keep doing it, which is kind of fun.
They go back and forth, and he just keeps doing it until he gets bored, and it's not great.
Yeah,
not great. It's not great when it's happening to you. Just to be clear, I'm not saying it's not. Yeah.
So he does that, and that's really fun. And if you put one of those plates like a Suck It or Blue Bomber, because he's doing so many moves each turn, that starts to go off like crazy. And now you're choosing an X break at the end before you pin him, or two potentially. Really, really good. He's got this purple move that increases his gem damage huge for one turn. Um, and his finisher destroys a huge area too. So a lot of crazy ways you can run him. At 5-star, he's got a move that changes botch gems into cross break gems. And why that's relevant is if you put the head games plate on him, which makes a bunch of botch gems. Again, a guy that's doing tons of moves every turn, easy to get those botch gems to fire, and all of a sudden you have a board full of cross breaks. So yeah, Macho Man. Plus Trickster Dodge and all, but that's going to be valid obviously in all of these conversations. Very, very good, amazing Trickster. Glad to finally have him. Plus a really cool coaching ability. Training ability.
Everyone, please disregard the whole section about 5-star. This is not a 5-star cream of the crop.
Right, but he's still great at 4-star.
Yeah, just a reminder.
I just wanted to throw that out there, though. It needed to be said. Fine. Okay. Back to you, sir.
Yeah. Another one that I'm going to say is very easy is a man formerly known as Big E Langston, but then one day he showed up to work and they took away his name. Sir, he was Big E Langston. He had a powerful name, Langston. There's a lot of pride from a long line of Langstons. And then these colonizers came and they just said, "You, sir, you are no longer allowed to be Langston." They took his name, they made him what they wanted him to be, and now he is only known as Big E. But sir, he is as strong and magnificent as ever. I nominate Big E Langston.
I'm fine putting him straight in too.
If only for the social injustice.
Sure.
How would you like it if suddenly you couldn't be your name?
Kind of like happened to Riddle.
Yeah, that happens to all of them, but
yeah. No, I mean, like, as long as they're okay with it, I'm fine. But if they're not okay with it, that kind of sucks for them. I mean, that would be like me going by Mherex instead of Merricks Gaming. I don't think I'd appreciate it.
Yeah, or it would be like if you marketed yourself everywhere as Mherex, and then people refused to call you Mherex and still called you Cable Guy.
Yeah, can't relate. Oh wait.
Anyways, so
take that, Round Table.
Oh yeah, round. Are they still a thing?
Yes.
I thought we had crushed them in the ratings and they had been canceled by now.
No, they're WCWing us currently.
Okay, that's fine. I mean, it's good. It's good for the boys to have a place to work.
Yeah.
So
Big E, I think I want to say if you got 2 gears, he might be the best trickster in the game. If you have 1 gear or no gears, he's still one of the better tricksters in the game. So you can also throw that anti-stun on him. So yeah, I got no issues with you nominating Big E. None whatsoever.
Big E Langston.
I have no issues with you nominating Mr. Langston whatsoever.
Very good. All right, good.
I am gonna toss this one out there. Let's see if it sticks. I'm gonna throw this kind of would have been a good segue earlier. I'm gonna throw Zombie Cena out there, my guy. Everyone has him now, as long as they chose him, which hopefully you did if you're listening to this. I'm gonna throw Zombie Cena out there, and I think he deserves to go onto the list.
Yeah, I mean multiple moves. By multiple moves, I mean multiple ways to potentially play them. Especially if you have the gear, the stun moveset becomes a lot more intriguing. I know you like the health steal. I personally like stun gameplay a little bit more, but both are extremely effective. And like you said, if you're not stunning him or putting submission on him or somehow, getting him to stop, once he gets going, he just kind of keeps going, and then very, very good. So yeah, I got no problems with it.
Yeah, me either. Zombie Cena right in there, which your pick for the last slot. Let's see if we can have some controversy this time, or see if I agree with you.
So I'm gonna tell you who I'm not gonna pick,
Okay.
and I'm gonna lump these people kind of all together.
Like an honorable mention kind of thing is what you're saying?
Sure, because I feel they all accomplish more or less the same thing. Well, these in particular, there's a couple of honorable mentions that have a different playstyle, but these I think have a very similar playstyle. I'm gonna lump together Edge, uh, Deadman, and there was one more I was gonna Razor Ramon.
Yeah, yeah.
So all of those are going to be your turn one submission guys, which are extremely useful. So we've talked about in the past for feud, having someone that's turn one sub, you can neutralize basically anyone, assuming they don't have an escape artist plate, which now people that exist, but it's not as prevalent as you'd like to think. And
And
most people are only going to have one, and most of them they're probably going to have it on a female anyways. So
yes, that's what I was gonna
not
say.
really, yeah, not really as big of a deal. I think people make too big of a deal when a particular plate or a trainer or something comes out that, oh, this is going to make this person completely useless. Nah, it's not true. It's going to make them not effective against one person. So
Right.
you should probably hit that one person with someone else, and then you're fine.
Indeed.
So, well, I think these people are all very useful. Edge is healing himself. All of them, the sub is so cheap. One match, and you're pretty much good to go again. Dead Man's causing lots of mischief with the gems and things like that. So all very good, but not who I would put in there. There's a couple of other ones that I think are. Shout out to someone that has a submission that is a lot better than anyone would like to
Don't do
admit.
it. Don't
Uh,
do it.
Sergeant Slaughter.
Worst 3-star card in the game.
Yeah, I have no disagreement. So I've mentioned before, no one should level Sergeant Slaughter. But if you happen to pull him at 4 stars, don't ignore him because he is surprisingly useful. So he has a submission. The submissions turn into silence gems. He has a one-turn move that creates a 3x2 area into silence gem, which is pretty big considering you're doing every turn. So you can completely, neutralize your opponent's major colors. And then you can choose trap gems, and if your opponent breaks them, it turns 3 silence gems into blast gems. If you break them, it gains 3 purple, which you don't need if you're using. So that's purple, black, black. You're not going to need that. So basically, you're always going to put them where you think your opponent is going to make a match. So basically, you're using a submission to reduce MP. You're using silence gem to completely stop your opponent from ever getting the MP. And all of this is lying in wait until you make a bunch of blast gems to cause chaos on the board. So, not someone you should focus on, but not as bad at 4 star, just making that very clear, as people would like to believe. He's not. He's also not on there, but as long as I was throwing out tricky submission guys, I wanted to mention him.
Do want to also say real quick that we are excluding Eddie, um, because of rarity.
Too tricky.
Yes, too tricky, still super rare. So we're gonna exclude Eddie, and then we're also gonna exclude Hall of Fame Austin. So if we were not talking about those two, and you think we should, we're excluding them because of rarity.
And Nikki because I don't like her because she broke John Cena's heart.
Right. Because she's cold and calculating and cruel and hurt our John Cena.
I was just gonna say tricky.
I,
You
I
don't you don't have to take it that far, man. You don't got to make it personal.
I would like to
Be,
throw.
be, be the bigger man. Be the bigger man. John wouldn't want that.
fine. I want to throw out Gallows as another one of those guys that's really close to the tier potentially. Is really good. Trickster. Also Trickster Rock. He's got a red steel. He's got bleeds. He can do a lot of stuff. Red MP steel. And then Zombie Brock as well with the purple MP steel, bleeds, blasts, heals, a lot of stuff going on. And also potentially Elias. He's kind of tricky too, can do some stuff. He's kind of weird, but kind of cool. Someone who's still insanely overrated and you should never build him is TUF, so don't. Horrible, horrible, horrible.
I hadn't even thought about him. That's how far down my list he was.
Yeah, I don't like him at all.
I mean, he's great if you're fighting 3 stars.
Yes. Yes, he is. But
so, I mean, there's that.
There is that. Yeah. And he kills the 3-star game.
Yeah. So yeah, Mherex loves all the people that don't have submissions. I love all the people that do have submissions. So in that vein, also people that I think are pretty solid. Flare.
Yeah. So if you like Steph, you're gonna like Flare. There's no way you won't.
So Flare is making a bunch of gems, using a submission. Stephanie is doing the exact same thing. But if we're picking, and I am, if we're gonna focus on someone that's, brought the submission game to an all-time high, my 5th selection has to be the lovely and talented Carmela. I feel at this point there's really not much you have to say about Carmela. People are going to be like, oh, well, Road Dog, she's completely nerfed. She's useless. Nah, false.
She's useless against one lady.
No.
Yep, like we said. So you have to play around one person on their roster. No big deal. She's going to crush everything in tours. She's got a purple MP steel. Super useful. I say put Mela right in there too. No issues whatsoever.
No. So that gives us our 5, sir.
It does. There was, I think, one other one I wanted to shout out while I was thinking about it, and then I forgot. Typical me. I'm sure. Oh, Brett. Trickster Brett, if you got the gear. Kind of interesting, right? We're just going to fall under your sub category. The gear makes moves that generate purple generate 5 more. He's got the sharpshooter sub, which is purple. And then he's got the green move that makes 3 random gems into purples. So, with the gear he's making, I mean, that's a 3-star silver too. So possibly Hitman also as a decent sub guy. Not amazing. He's not going to top tier or anything, but that gear makes him a lot more interesting.
Yeah. I feel like Trickster is more than any other class, has a lot of people that are good / better than you probably think they are.
Like KO. I know you like KO. Trickster Big Show with those botches. He's solid. And
Natalia is someone that no one thinks is good, and she's really good actually. But again,
I feel
you got to have trainers, etc.
Yeah, I feel the same way about Zombie Sasha. Daniel Bryan is a trickster I'd like to take up at some point. He's a lot of fun to play with a bunch of traps. So yeah, there's a lot of good tricksters out there as far as like
a lot of them really good coaches also. So I mean,
yeah.
at a minimum, you're not really going to go wrong taking most of these tricksters up to 9K. A lot of them have a 9K ability. So yeah, if it turns out that you have one that you like and you want to have him be maybe a secondary build after you build one of these other guys as your primary, sure, have at it.
Yeah, have some fun with the trickster class. That's there's some unique stuff. Trap gems, bleeds, MP steals. I like the trickster class. I feel like is really useful to round out your roster. You have kind of your main guys. You got your feud guys. You got your showdown guys, and then you have like these guys that can do a lot of utility stuff for you and give you good value there. And trickster is a class that can do that.
Yep. All right, Mherex. I think we're good there. Would you like to play a game? Do we have time?
Yeah, we're at an hour and 24 minutes. We killed it. We got time for a game.
Nice. So as always, game is brought to you by Jim's Bait and Tackle Shop
Oh my
Annex.
gosh.
The Annex located right on the pier. You don't got to go all the way back to 3rd Street. Just go down to the pier. Jim's got it handled for you.
Yep.
So, Mherex, are you ready, sir?
Mm-hmm.
So, rules as always. Don't be dodgy. Whoa. Hello.
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right. I thought you were being dodgy. So don't be dodgy. We're gonna have your iterative questions. You can ask one question, and then the iterations reset after 10 questions, and then free for all after 15 questions.
Okay.
Merricks, do your worst. Good luck, by the way.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Is this character Attitude Era?
Let me see. Probably should have looked before. I just thought of it and I didn't click on the or / the person. Yes. No, not Attitude Era.
Okay. So that eliminates half the roster. All right. Does this character have facial hair?
I'm gonna say no.
No? Okay.
No facial hair. Well, yeah.
You don't
It's
seem
kind of,
certain.
yeah, well, it's kind of hard nowadays, with with scrubs and shadows and what constitutes facial hair. I'm gonna say no.
Okay.
So it's not a obvious yes, if that makes you feel any better.
Not really, but okay.
Yeah.
Does this character have long hair?
No.
Okay. Ooh.
That's 3.
What was that?
I said that's 3.
Okay. Does this character use multiply gems?
This character does not use multiply gems.
Okay.
That is 4.
Is this character a technician?
Not a technician. That is 5.
Okay. Is this character wearing a head accessory?
You could call it a head accessory. I don't know if wearing be the right word I would use. So I'm gonna begrudgingly say no.
I feel like there's some non-clear answers going on here. Just saying. But
Yeah,
that's fine.
that's fair.
That's fine. Doesn't have long hair, isn't a tech, doesn't use multiply gems, is not Attitude Era, does not have something on his or her head.
It's not what I said.
A face accessory of some kind. That would like a head accessory, like a hat, a mask.
So can you be more specific? If you want to say, is he wearing something on his head, like a hat or a mask, then the answer is no.
Okay. That would also constitute like Bailey's headband. That would be something on her head.
Correct.
Okay. Or Dream's headband. That's what I was going for.
Yeah.
Okay.
It is.
Or
yeah,
or Gender's thing that he's wearing. I don't know what that's called. Turban? Is that a turban? Is that what they're called?
Moving on.
Okay.
What's that? Is that 6 or 7?
I don't know. You're keeping track, not me. I'm just guessing.
Let's call it 6, since
right.
some of them, since you had 2 that were kind of,
All right.
I'll give you half credit for those. So.
All right. Is this character holding a weapon of some kind?
No.
We do this all the time, and usually you're like, "What? What do you mean?" I'm talking about like the Triple H's of the world with hammers and stuff.
Yeah, it's a very specific question.
It is.
So
I just like asking it.
no, yeah, you like swinging for the fences,
I do.
and that's why usually you end up with 17 straight no's.
Well, it makes for high drama at the end. Is this character wearing a robe?
Robe?
Yeah, robe.
No, he is not.
Oh, excuse me. Sorry. Rude. That was very rude. Hour and a half show. You're gonna have burps once in a while. Sorry, everyone.
It's fine. I didn't even hear it.
Oh, excellent. Brr. I don't know. Does this character have red gems?
I mean, all characters have red gems. So
Red
yes.
moves. Red moves. Does this character use red moves?
Okay, I'll allow the retraction this one time.
Oh, hush.
No, he does not use red moves.
No red moves. Okay.
I think that's 7 now. No, you asked about the robe. That's 8.
Does this character have the? Where's it? Tell me this. Let me see. Does this character have Does this character have the authority link?
He does not.
Okay.
It's 9.
Ooh.
One more questions, and then your iterations reset.
Okay. Does this character have visible tattoos?
He does not. It's a pretty good question.
I thought it was.
Yeah.
Okay, so it resets. Is this character modern era?
He is not. It's 11.
Is this character powerhouse?
You've already asked that.
Yeah, my iterations reset, you said.
Yeah, so you just asked. Oh, sorry. What did you ask right before that? You asked era. Sorry.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Sorry. Yes. No, not powerhouse.
You're being dodgy now.
No, I was just.
So I know it's not technician, and I know it's not powerhouse.
Yep.
It's not modern, and it's not attitude.
Uh-huh.
It doesn't use multiply gems. Does use red moves.
I said doesn't. You said red gem. I said everyone uses red gems.
I said red moves. I said it doesn't use multiply gems. And does use red moves.
He doesn't use red moves.
Oh, you said doesn't?
Yes. Originally, you asked, does he use red gems?
I would never have guessed powerhouse then. Oh, well, it's fine. It's fine.
Yeah, sorry.
No, it's okay. It's fine. I'm going to get it anyway, in spite of your dodginess.
No dodginess. You just don't pay attention.
Whatever.
You ask questions, and then you don't listen to the answers.
Whatever. Is this... Can I ask the female-male question at this point?
No, not until 15.
Okay. Is this character a zombie?
No. It's 13.
Is this character wearing a jacket or vest?
That's another tricky question. I'm going to say no. No, you know what? Not tricky. Sorry, I take that back. No.
One more before it's fair game, huh?
Yeah, one more, and then you can ask whatever you'd like. But remember, your 20th question, you ran into this problem last time. Your 20th question has to be, is it so-and-so?
XYZ. Yeah, okay. Does this character have a hairy body?
No.
Okay.
15.
We're
right. Wide open.
Okay, so is this character a trickster?
Yes.
Okay, now we're moving somewhere. Is this character female?
No. 17.
Oh boy. Okay, tricksters. Let's slow this down a little bit. Not zombies. No facial hair. Or yeah, no facial hair. No tattoos showing. No hats. It was no long hair.
Correct.
It's not a female. Woods is wearing a unicorn thing, so he's definitely. Gallows has facial hair. Lawler has a jacket. Flair has a robe. KO's got facial hair. Honky Tonk has a jacket. Steel is hairy AF. Razor Ramon has a. Is that a vest or jacket? Yeah, that's a vest. Dream has long hair. Sarge has a hat. Brett has long hair. Roman has long hair. Long hair. Long hair. Long hair. Arn has facial hair. Dean has a jacket. I guess. I suppose Kane is wearing. He's wearing a suit jacket. That's a jacket. Sheamus has facial hair. Miz has stuff on his head. Eddie has facial hair. That's all the tricksters. Who do I not have? Wait a sec. Gobbledygooker has long hair. That would have been funny. Oh. Does this character have a Giant's Link?
He does not.
Yeah, alright. I guess Andre has sideburns. That could count as facial hair. JBL has a hat. I feel like there's some tomfoolery going on here, sir.
Are we on 17?
I think so. Because I'm not seeing it.
Well, you said, hold on. No, you said male, female,
Mm-hmm.
Giants Link.
Mm-hmm.
And you asked one more thing after the reset, didn't you?
Trickster class.
Yeah. So, no, you're at 18. So you have one question and then your guess.
Uh, is this character Legend era?
He is not Legend era.
I do not know, because Big E's got a hat on. Edge has long hair. Zombie. Taker's got a hat. Seth has long hair. Brock's a zombie. Nakamura's a zombie. Cactus has long hair. Rock has tattoos. Elias has long hair. Farouk has a hat. Valentine has long hair. Macho's wearing a hat. Daniel Bryan has long hair. Woods is wearing a hat. Jinder has facial hair. Gallows has facial hair. King has facial hair. Flair has a robe. Big Show's got facial hair. KO's got facial hair. Honky Tonk Man has a jacket.
I feel like
Steel.
you're focusing a lot on hair.
Well, yeah, it's one of the factors that distinguishes them.
All right, I'm just saying, you may be over focusing on hair.
That makes no sense.
Okay, just trying to help.
I'm trying to narrow it down. If there's there's no one that meets your requirements.
Oh, there's someone.
You're super dodgy. There isn't.
Mm.
Gobbledygooker has long hair. You know what? I'm just gonna guess Gobbledygooker because I don't even know. I'm gonna guess gobbledygooker.
With the 20th guess, gobbledygooker. Birds don't have hair, dude.
I knew you were gonna do something dodgy like that. I knew it. Yes,
Not dodgy.
that was dodgy. Yeah, I'm looking at his
I,
card. He definitely has hair.
it's not hair. That's
He also has facial hair.
that's that's some type of a festive plumage, but it is not hair.
Whatever.
Birds don't.
In spite of your
Birds don't.
cheating, I am victorious anyway.
No. So I mean, that's why when you said, "Does he have a head accessory?" So, yeah, I think birds don't they use that like crap on their head to like find a mate or something?
I'm sure that's what the gooker is doing with his plumage.
Yeah. So I mean, yes, it is an accessory in his head. But if I had said
it's
yes,
not a hat.
yeah, that's why I was like, okay, well, if we're gonna define it as something that he is wearing, no, he's not wearing it. It's part of him.
Either way, in spite of you trying to cheat, I got the gooker.
See, you can say in spite of me trying to cheat, but I made a point to mention hair and for you to not focus on it. What I was actually doing was I was accepting the point that hair needs to be a distinguishing factor that you may be misinterpreting, which led you to the gobbledygook.
I would
So you're
like
welcome.
I would like
You're
all
welcome.
of I would like all of you to weigh in and let me know if you think Sparks cheated and if I won in spite of his cheating, or if you think Sparks led me to the right answer and helped me to win.
Just for the record, it doesn't matter what they think.
It does.
Still right.
All right.
Bring it on.
Do you have any closing thoughts before our normal shtick stuff?
No, but I'm gonna say you've stolen my shtick, so I mean, just might as well just do it yourself.
I have not stolen your shtick.
You've stolen.
I have not.
Shtick stealer.
Unacceptable. So, in closing, I want to wish everyone a happy Thanksgiving. If you don't celebrate Thanksgiving, happy holidays. Rather enjoyed this video. I enjoy all the podcasts a lot. It took longer than I wanted to get this one out, and that's because I work retail and am super busy. Sparks is amazing, and pretty much when I have time, he has time. So, time
isn't an object to me.
So. Yeah, the space-time continuum and
it's
your
pretty
perception. Yeah, your perception in relation to it. That one's on me for this one. So, hopefully keep these. We have every intention to keep doing these. They're super enjoyable. I like it a lot. Love hearing you guys' interactions on them. So let us know what you think of this this podcast. Like always, super appreciate you guys watching. Remember to like, subscribe, share, all that good stuff. Click the button. And good luck out there, guys. Thanks.
And remember, now more than ever, it's a game, guys. Relax. Have fun with it. Are we still on?
Yes, we're still on.
Turn it off.
I'm turning it off. Calm down.